Welcome to this session of Consuming Culture, a panel that I have always loved being a part of, watching, and now I have the utmost privilege of hosting three inimitable, illustrious guests here. Basically, what we're going to be doing is, over the next hour, chatting about everything that we've loved, maybe some stuff that we've hated, things we found controversial over the past year. My three guests today, I've had the absolute pleasure of, having a yap with all three of you, I think, over the entire festival. And if there's one thing that really connects us all, it's that we love having opinions, solicited or otherwise. So I'm going to ask my guests to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Maria Angelico. I am a Melbourne-based actor, and I also write as well. And I'm in Birthright, that's playing at MIFF, which is Zoe Pepper's debut feature film, and our last screening is tonight. I think it's sold out though, so sorry.
Hello, I'm Amy Nicholson. I'm the film critic of the Los Angeles Times, and I host a film podcast called Unspooled with the comic Paul Scheer, who some people might know from his podcast, How Did This Get Made?
Awesome. Hi, I'm Angelica Jade Bastién. I'm a critic and essayist at New York Magazine and their site Vulture, but I'm actually based in Chicago. And I also have a little Substack called Mad Women and Muses, and I'm very happy to be here with all these great people.
And we're very happy to be here with you. Okay, I want to start because earlier, literally 5 minutes before, we were like, what is our dream walkout music? So just literally cast your minds back to like 2 minutes ago when we were walking on stage. What do we wish we walked out to? You had a great answer, Maria.
I was just trying to be funny, but but I thought it'd be cool to walk out to System of a Down just to G everyone off, because it's such a wild vibe. I don't know. I think something like that, or All Saints Never Over, the talking interlude. I think that would really it'd be a conversation starter for sure. Yeah.
What are you, Amy?
Oh gosh, all my taste of music is pretty dorky, so I'm just thinking that my friend last night went to go see the Scorpions play in Las Vegas, and I will have to stick up for like really sloppy, messy hair metal every single day.
Great.
Amazing.
For me, recently, like in the last few years, I got really into anime, which means I got really into J-rock, and so I'm gonna highlight the band Bucktick. Rest in peace, one of the hottest men I've ever seen was their lead singer. Oh my God. If there's a heaven, I hope to see you there, baby.
Angelica, I want to hear more about your love of anime, and specifically love of hot anime boys. You wrote a piece for Vulture in 2024, ranking every hot anime boy, and I want to know where your current standing stands.
Ooh,
Who is the hottest anime boy?
Okay, I'm gonna have to highlight Jin Shi from Apothecary Diaries. I don't know if you guys are into that. It's also now on Netflix as well as Crunchyroll. It's a super fascinating show, in part because it focuses on a female character, so it's actually like a shoujo show instead of your usual shonen, like, Naruto and those things. I don't care about those little boys. I care about the women. And Jin Shi is like quintessential hot anime man because he has, and it's in the plot how beautiful he is, but he has the face of like a goddess and the body of a god, and that's exactly what I look for in a man.
It's almost like the anti-twink in a way.
Yeah, I'm very anti-twink. You're picking up what I'm laying down.
Absolutely. Twink death. Say that. Now, I feel like, I grew up around a lot of anime. I mean, you can tell by looking at me. And I feel like I haven't actually revisited it in a long time. So maybe you are the person who can really spark my love of anime again.
I would love to do that for you. I've been helping friends, figure out anime. When I got into anime, I got a, real education of it. So, everything from 80s onward and getting into mecha, getting into the major shonen shows, getting into shoujo stuff. But what I've learned when it comes to anime is it's best to recommend stuff to people based on their taste in other art forms. So it's for example, if you're really into hip hop, I'd be check out Samurai Champloo. Has a great score. It's created by the same man who is behind Cowboy Bebop, so it's gorgeous and very lived in, and it just hits. It rips, actually. It's a great show.
Well, speaking about all of those other art forms, let's begin with why we're all here today, which is film. I would love to hear about a film that we've all loved in the past 12 months, whether a new film or new to us. Maria, I'm starting with you.
Okay. It's such a hard question. I feel like I might talk about a film that was new to me. This year, or recently, I was in Italy, like everyone else in Melbourne. But I was in Bologna just coincidentally at the time that they had their film festival on, which was fantastic. And there was a screening of Charlie Chaplin's Gold Rush. And they have these great... the film festival is fantastic. It's spread all over Bologna, the city, but there's a big square where they have a massive screen and it's open to the public. And it's just so European. Like, everyone just rocks up and is so serious. There's hundreds of people just sitting there smoking. Like, and if anyone's talking, they'll give them a look. Like, everyone just is really supportive of the whole festival. But Charlie Chaplin's Gold Rush played, and it was, it's a silent film. It's so old, and there was a live orchestra playing with it, which was so cool, and it was fantastic. Like, I've never really gotten into Charlie Chaplin. I'm like, yeah, Charlie Chaplin's cool and funny, I don't know, but it was so amazing. Like, I guess it was just so pure and silly that it just felt so, it hadn't aged, there's a scene where he's dancing and his leg gets caught on a dog leash, and it's just so ridiculous and so silly, and it just made me so happy that after that I've gone into like a whole Charlie Chaplin deep dive, and he's a really interesting person. So I could watch that movie again soon.
Your entire life is now just one long series of pratfalls.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing no, I'm not. But I just...
Cue the music.
I don't know, I think I've always been a bit like, I love clowns, but a bit cringe of like clown culture, like kind of, I don't know, and I've kind of put Charlie Chaplin in that, I don't know, maybe it's the bowler hat, maybe it's its steampunk aesthetic, I don't know, I just wasn't into Charlie Chaplin, but he's amazing. Yeah, big fan.
Amy, what about you?
Of course, I love your answer. I love the Gold Rush so much.
Yeah,
I love
so good.
They showed it again this year at Cannes, like open Cannes, the film festival, and it was such a perfect thing because they were closing out the Mission Impossible franchise a few nights later, and just this idea of like honoring the actors who do their own stunts. The scene in the Gold Rush where he's like sliding across the floor of that cabin as it's sliding off a snowy cliff. It just like parallels so well with like the Mission Impossible before this, where he's like falling down the train that's like dangling off a cliff too. And I like feeling these films are in conversation with each other,
Yeah.
But on something radically different, the film I keep sticking up for all year that I've like formed a little cult of with my friends who also like to stick up for this movie is Better Man, the monkey musical about Robbie Williams.
Shot in Victoria.
Yeah. Shot in Victoria?
Shot in Victoria.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. Take me on a tour. Wow.
We're going to visit every single soundstage.
Yeah, please. Like, the biggest mistake I made last year was not putting it on my top 10. Like, I was really kicking myself afterwards because I only rewatched it after I had to file my top 10 and just thought, like, this movie is so just beautifully put together. Like, all of the scene transitions, all of the music, all of the way that he just, like, taps into the meaning of a song and then stages it creatively through, like, dance numbers. It's a joy bomb of a movie with so much emotion. It has a protagonist that, like, makes fun of himself every single minute. It's one of the most entertaining things I've seen all year. And so nobody I know is willing to watch this movie in my real life. And I just keep, like, loudly insisting. And every time a friend goes, like, I have little friend groups, like, text chains that are, like, Better Man friend groups. And they just, like, share Better Man gifts back and forth. And it just feels like a movie that I don't know, Michael Gracie, the director, he just, like, really... He has an old-fashioned type of audience pleasing that when you see it, it deserves honoring, you know? he knows, I mean, when he did The Greatest Showman, and I know people who saw the movie 7 times in theaters, like he just...
Are they okay?
Okay, I saw it like 4 times in theaters. It's like, I don't know. There's something about a person who's like unabashedly happy to put on an old-fashioned gigantic spectacle. And it feels rare. It feels really rare that they don't have to be like doom and gloom and here's the end of the world, but like, let's celebrate cinema giant.
Yeah, there's like a sincerity to it. Sometimes it feels like we have to, being sincere is like not as smart or something. Yeah.
I also absolutely freaking loved Better Man. But I'm so curious because I feel like Robbie Williams to me almost seems like an Australian celebrity in a way because he was so big here. Like, I feel like anytime he did anything, you know, like all the press would be like, oh my God, like Robbie Williams is not single anymore. Like everyone go drown themselves in the river. Like it was Robbie mania in Australia, but he wasn't as big in the US.
He's unknown in the US, I would say.
I knew who he was.
Well, you know.
But I didn't have like a strong opinion about him, I would say, or knew much about him. I just like remember certain music videos kind of puncturing whatever American ass bubble that we exist within.
The one where he peels off all his skin.
Yes, that's exactly the one I was thinking about. Yeah. But yeah, I actually haven't seen that movie. I guess now I have to see it in honor of your love for it.
I mean, you have a long plane flight to America coming back up. Oh,
God, I do. Yeah, we both do. But I guess what I have been haunted by this year is on the completely different end of the spectrum. I've recently really gotten into the Hong Kong filmmaker Johnny To. And I saw his film Exiled recently, like at the top of the year. And I like to call it Red Bull cinema. It's like dudes being dudes. And it opens with 2 groups of men. They're both like criminal figures, assassins. One group is meant to protect a guy, and one group is meant to like hunt this guy down. And they come upon the guy's like new home with his like wife and child, and you're expecting, oh, it's gonna be this intense shootout, and it does start that way. It's very balletic and like beautiful, but then they end up like becoming pals and helping the guy move into his place, and it's like, oh, okay, it's just gonna be a friendship movie that just also has crime in it. It's such a fun movie and strangely moving about, you know, male bonds, but it is pure Red Bull cinema, like just, you know, energy drink to the head, intensity. I love it so much. I love a movie that knows to go in, to go out, and to not belabor the point. And I just have so much fun watching Johnny To films this year.
Beautiful. Yeah. A great recommendation.
You're welcome.
I just want to say as well, by the way, that if anyone wants to ask us a question, you can go to the details behind you, and we will endeavor to answer them for you. I want to go back to what you were saying, Amy, earlier about Mission Impossible. Because, Amy, you are also the author of a monograph about Tom Cruise. It's called Tom Cruise, Anatomy of an Actor, published by KA Do Cinema. And now that the Mission Impossible franchise has, I guess, officially, wrapped in the last 12 months, you know, like, what do you think is the future of this franchise?
Oh, I hope it dies, to be honest. Like, I mean, I wrote my book on Tom Cruise about 10 years ago. And it was like a breakdown of him as an actor just through his roles. Like, I was like, I'm not going to get into his marriages. I'm not going to get into Scientology. I want to talk about what we don't talk about, which is like his craft. You know, because I realized... I pitched the book as a book about like how does a guy who's not talented and plays the same actor over and over again become a giant movie star, and then in really researching the book and writing it, I realized I'm completely wrong. He's an amazing actor who we've never really appreciated. We always write off as doing the same thing, and he has an image that overwrites the acting he does in all his individual movies, and I got flag waving for like the performer that I really believe he is. And I ended that book with like a pretty downbeat postscript where my editors were like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah. I was like, he's got to stop making action movies. He has to go back to chasing Oscars. He hasn't tried to get an Oscar since Magnolia in '99, which is so good. And I was like, he has all these directors he has to work with. He used to try to work with a different director every single year. And he's only been working with, you know, like McQuarrie, and I just want them to break up already. And so And my joke is when I haven't had to update that book because he hasn't done anything else since then. Like, he's just done the same thing that I hate. And now, we'll see. He's chasing Oscars, I hear, for the first time with an Inarritu movie, but it just feels like a bad fit. I want him to do something funny, like Cohen, Tarantino.
Ugh, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
So what do you think is Tom Cruise's future as an actor? Do you think he has it in him? Do you think he's got the juice still?
I definitely do. I think he went into this, like, stretch of needing to prove that he was still the biggest actor in the world after the whole kerfuffle of, like, 2005 and The Couch. And I did go on, like, a very... I did write a big article about how he actually doesn't jump on a couch. If you really watch the Oprah video, he stands on the couch and gets down. And if you really... It sounds like a small splitting hairs thing, but the fact that we have this memory... Like, I could have sworn he bounced up and down it like a trampoline. Doesn't happen. And actually, if you watch the whole video, it's Oprah's idea. She says, I saw you at this event the other day, and you were so excited you stood on your chair. And so a beat later, he's like, oh, okay. And he stands on his chair to show her that he's excited. He's playing to her, and he's playing to the room. Becomes this whole other story.
Oprah's so dangerous.
But I feel like he's been trying to prove that he's number one ever since then and not chasing his talent as an actor. And I really want him to go back to just being an actor. Because he's the guy who said no to doing Top Gun 2 in 1985. He was like, I'm never going to do that sequel. I want to go do Color of Money. I want to go prove myself. And now he's circled back around. So, yeah. I'm very passionate about this.
No, he was amazing in Magnolia. Like that, he's like standout in that film. Incredible. Yeah.
Maria, you're obviously an actor. I want to hear about which performances you've loved in the past 12 months. Who's been your favorite?
I'd love to do a Top Gun movie, just piggybacking off that. Or a Mission Impossible, that'd be fun. My favorite performances, that's a really hard question. I really loved, it's a series, not a film, Dying for Sex. If anyone watched that, yeah, it was. And I thought Michelle Williams was incredible and Jenny Slate together. I think, and Rob Delaney, oh my God. I just think it's more their ensemble, I think worked really well. I feel like it was a story, it's a story about a woman who's terminally ill, who her dying wish is to have good sex. And it's based on a true story. The scripts were really sharp and funny, and so I think that helped them, but it so easily could have been a series that felt cheesy or, I don't know, just like saccharine in its, I don't know, like a dying woman with a best friend. Yeah, but I feel like they made it really grounded and real and funny and dynamic. So as an ensemble, I loved that. What else? This is controversial, but I really liked Baby Girl. It's okay. I'm gonna defend it. I like it. I think I went in watching it as a lull with like my girlfriends, being like, "This is gonna be," and then I was kind of taken by it. And I don't think it's necessarily Nicole Kidman's performance in that, but she's just won me over. Something's happened. I think similar to the Tom Cruise effect.
Gee, what do they have in common?
I mean, yeah, and it's not all in her wigs, which I fully support, and I think your next book should be about her wigs. But I think just her going all in on everything she does. She's so shameless, and like, yes, there's a lot of other things that she does in the way she looks, and we could get into that, but just in terms of a performer, she's pretty bold and she makes big swings, and something about it, she's won me over, even though she's in everything and doing weird shows and stuff, but I loved it. Yeah.
I want to start a fight on this panel because I saw Angelica's look when the word baby girl was mentioned.
Look, I want to be cool and not like baby girl, but I love it.
It's not cool to like or dislike something inherently. It's more so the passion behind the love or hate, I think, is what matters most. That movie was whack. I wrote about it for work, and part of my argument was both the way the movie was talked about by the people involved and the marketing kind of frame it in a way that's dishonest, it's not an erotic thriller.
It's not.
How it reads actually to me, and what I argued in my piece was that it actually is a very icy, half-formed women's picture, like the women's pictures of 30s, 40s, and 50s Hollywood, except instead of fading to black, you actually see, sexual encounters that are very vanilla and make me wonder what kind of sex other people are having, that's kinky to them. Sorry to judge.
No, I do agree. There needed to be a lot more sex in it.
Yeah, it's not sexy at all, and I actually don't think the film worked. And part of my issue is when it comes to these movies that are specifically about older white women's sexuality, right, and them kind of coming to terms with their sexuality, opening up themselves sexually, they're always having to be taught about their sexuality by a man, and it's always them in a submissive position. And I am probably telling on myself by saying this, I want more doms that are women in movies. Some of us put our heels on them, not the other way around. Like, what is going on? Cinema, expand your mind when it comes to female sexuality. I find the tainted nature of like abjection in female sexuality in American film very troubling, but very interesting at the same time. So it was an interesting film to write about, even if I did not like the film and will probably never see the film again.
But you did see Dying for Sex.
No, I didn't actually see Dying for Sex.
So that's a female, I mean, I won't spoiler alert, but she goes dom, and she's discovering her sexuality, and it's so fucking good.
But the reason why I haven't seen that is because I have intense health anxiety, and I was like, I was dealing with my own health scare at the time when the show was rolling out, and I was like, this looks really good, but I'm gonna have to come back to this after my MRIs and all that stuff. As long as I'm okay, I'll watch this. And I am okay, so I will finally watch it.
Unfortunately, my only take on Baby Girl is Harris Dickinson, face of a goddess, body of a god. And
thank you
period.
for bringing up Harris Dickinson, because I think he's great in that movie, honestly. Like, you're watching him figure out how to dominate at the same time. And I think he gives the best performance in that movie.
Actually, I
got
should
really
have talked
overlooked.
about that. I'm like now having so many doubts. I'm like, I should have talked
He's
about
so
it.
great.
Yeah.
He's so great. He has a movie that he directed coming out this year too, called
It's playing
Urchin.
at MIFF.
Oh, it is? It's wonderful. Go
Yeah.
see it. It's absolutely great. One of my favorite things at Cannes this year. He's a talent.
Angelica, what's been your favorite performance this year?
I am not beating the contrarian allegations, because the moment you asked that, I was like, what that's new to me have I loved performance-wise? And I completely blanked. I can easily name like movies that are, old but new to me, but like I'm someone who writes a lot about acting and has very intense opinions about actors. But there hasn't been anything yet that has fully captured me performance-wise from this year. But I'm seeing the new Ira Sachs film tonight, and I'm excited about that. I think that's going to give me the actorly juice and complication I've been hungry for.
We'll ask you again at 11 p.m.
Yeah, ask me again at
Melbourne
11
Heights.
p.m., and then I'll have an answer for you. That's positive and not me absolutely tearing something apart.
Amy, what about you? Fave performance?
My brain also went dead when you said that, but I do think the lead who's in Urchin is an actor I'd never seen before. Has anybody seen it yet? Has it already been screening here? Okay, you're in for a treat when you see it. It is about a just street hustler who is hard scrabble the whole way through, young, charismatic, passionate, weird, strange, dangerous. You never know if in any scene you should hug him or run far, far away. And he's a new face to me. And you just see this guy get directed by an actor like Harris Dickinson. Really impressive. Nobody's going to remember him in award season, but please go see him now and celebrate it, because he's somebody definitely to watch.
We have a question now from someone in the audience who submitted anonymously but clearly also wants to fight.
I'm really regretting what I've said.
Oh God, what are we about to get?
This question I'm gonna ask you, Amy, as you'll immediately realize why I'm asking you this. The question is, are podcasts dead?
They are in crisis, honestly. I think that's a totally fair question. I've been in the podcast space, 12 years now, I think. And I have seen it kind of follow the same trajectory of all the other art forms I love. It started as a Wild West. all these new podcasts existed. They all were kind of alive and had audiences. And they have slowly been conglomerated into giant podcast networks that now only want shows with gigantic A-list stars.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Like I came out of a network called Earwolf that was like all these great, amazing comedians who just, you see the ad people be like, but we can sell more ads having Conan Bryan on this network and not selling ads for any of the other shows. And all of the shows I came up with died. And sometimes I get a lot of survivor's guilt about being in one of the shows that's like last. You know, I hate seeing a space that felt like a place where almost anybody could make a mark become just totally dominated by A-list celebrity. It just feels so limiting. Like, why does like, now I'm like I'm like trashing all celebrities who have podcasts. I'm like, but why does somebody like Dax Shepard have to own this space?
Ew.
You know, like why? Like there should be, it's its own gift. And they all just have really like low stakes. Watch me hang out with my buddies podcast. It's really, it killed an art form that I thought was really creative.
Yeah, that's totally true. It's also like, I feel like what's happening to podcasts with regards to celebrities being the center and them asking their friends softball questions is exactly what's happened to the celebrity profile in magazines, where, like, for example, Leonardo DiCaprio is in that new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and, like, there was a recent, either Esquire maybe or GQ, like, and it was Paul Thomas Anderson interviewing Leo, and that's where that soundbite of Leonardo DiCaprio saying, oh, I spiritually like feel like I'm actually 32 years old, and it's like, you're a 50-year-old man, and you won't even date a 32-year-old woman, so there's that. And it was just like, in reading it, you can just clock like, oh, you're not pushing back, there's no generative conversation, it's really just PR, it's just marketing, given a new gloss of intimacy that's actually very dishonest. Take away the microphones from celebrities. If this is how they're gonna do the podcast, take them away. That's what I say.
Yeah, look, I agree. I saw a TikTok recently, and it was like a man who was close up to his face, and he was like walking through a store, and he was talking about how it's just insane that you don't have a license to purchase one of these, and you think he's talking about firearms, and then he turns around and he's in front of a case of like podcasting equipment and microphones, and yeah, I agree. Look, I love podcasts and like following the journey of a podcast. Like I was listening to Las Culturistas. I feel like that's a perfect example with Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers. But I've been listening to that for a long time, and I feel like I've kind of dropped off a little bit. And it's not saying I don't want success for people who have started out grassrootsy. It's really exciting to see how far they've come, and now they have the Las Culturistas Awards, and it's this whole thing. And I think Bravo are producing it, and it's great, but it's starting to feel a little more diluted, and I'm struggling to listen to it again. Yeah, it just feels like, actors talking to other actors and about their lives that are really. And it's not saying that it has to all be relatable. Sometimes I love, I'm a housewives girly. Like, I love watching affluent people talk about their ostentatious lives for a bit. But I think, a podcast is, and also I love podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. But it's a big commitment. You're donating like an hour of your time. And so I want to be hearing things that I haven't heard before. I don't necessarily want to hear another actor on a press junket telling a story about a film shoot that I've seen them talk about many times, the whole Lady Gaga of it all, which I loved actually, but I don't, it's not as interesting. So I don't know if podcasts are dead, but I feel like they're in danger maybe, or the landscape has definitely changed, and I just make a conscious effort to listen to, more independent podcasts as much as I can.
It does feel like podcasts occupy this really weird space in the culture right now, where it's like, why is Taylor Swift announcing her album on her boyfriend's 2-hour-long podcast?
That was so weird.
Why is Carmela going on Call Her Daddy? You know, like what world are we living in? Question mark.
Yeah, it's yeah, the call her daddy, yeah, it's become
The
so...
call her daddy of it all.
Yeah, like this kind of affluent podcasting space is so weird. I don't know. I feel like in a few years we'll kind of look back on it and, I don't know, there's something really weird happening. Yeah.
We've been talking a bit about celebrity culture, and you know, I do think celebrities, in a sense, are getting more boring because of
boring.
various factors.
It feels like there's only 50 of them. They're in all the same movies. I'm getting really, it's tedious. I feel like we're in a really precarious space with film right now where an indie film can't get greenlit unless it has like one of 15 stars, it feels like, and they all can't do everything, and so a lot of movies aren't getting made, and no new stars are getting made. That's what I get really
We
upset.
know too much. I think we know too much about celebrities. Like, I find I'm watching a show and I'm distracted by knowing that, oh my goodness, she was going through a breakup when they were filming this, or whatever. It's like, I shouldn't know this. I want to be in the story. Yeah, it makes me want to go dark on social media.
But we don't get new stars unless we put in like Julia Roberts was not famous at all when she did Pretty Woman, and we got to make a star. But now if we made a Pretty Woman, we'd have to find a star of that caliber, and it's like so stultifying, I feel like, to the culture.
Yeah. I mean, as an actor, I find it very frustrating.
I'm like, why am I telling you?
It's like, you know, only like so many other artists that like my peers now, where often agencies, they will say how many followers this person has on TikTok, or which is just so like, I understand from like if you're like the head of, I don't know, if you're from a capitalist kind of point of view, you're like, oh, well, this person will really help with marketing because we have this audience instantly. But it's that's never been the job of an artist, and it's really, I find it really frustrating, and it's just yuck. Like when you see something with someone like Urchin, this actor that you were talking about, it's so exciting when you see someone that is new and fresh. And I feel like even with like the whole White Lotus, like Amy Lou Wood, yes, she was on Sex Education and lots of people loved her from that, but she was new to a lot of people in White Lotus, and everyone's like, she's amazing, wow, who is this person? And it's like, so we do want new, we do want fresh, so why? But yeah, I think it's capo culture.
Yeah, I think it's actually really interesting how stars aren't made today. And one thing I think about a lot is how racialized it is. Because there's so many amazing, for example, Black actors that I'm like, you know, you see in a performance of like a Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, or, you know, Aaron Pierre is kind of popping off. But there's something that happens where you can tell the industry is not going to support them, and they don't really get the roles they deserve. And so they're never allowed to grow. And it's something I find very, very frustrating, because Hollywood loves to give me, you know, several flavors of bad vanilla white boys who offer like nothing to anyone. They're not hot. They're not interesting. They can't really give you any juice in an interview. But then I look at these Black actors that I'm like, well, why are they not getting the roles? Why are they not getting the opportunities they deserve when they have the spark, even in these like performances, you know, these scripts that they're not really given much, but they make it work. And you're like, please, Lord Jesus, give these people opportunity. And it's just not happening. And I feel, you know, I pitched this piece a while ago to work, and they didn't pick it up. And it was about Hollywood's return to whiteness. And I think part of that is who's allowed to be a star and who gets actual industry support. I don't think it's a coincidence that, you know, Zendaya is one of the only Black stars like given any sort of grace and industry support, but the fact that it's really just her says a lot about the industry itself in the United States.
Who do we think has had a very interesting year as a celebrity? Like who's out there doing something beyond just, you know, like your regular press tours, your regular hot ones, et cetera, et cetera?
That's a hard question.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate Cardi B always being messy as hell. At least that's like entertaining on some sort of level. But sometimes her messiness is a little troubling, and I'm like, girl, you can't be saying that. Actually, that's like really hard, because I think, someone mentioned relatability earlier, and I think that has created a problem with celebrity because it's like dishonest. Like, no, you guys aren't relatable. You have millions of dollars. Do not play in my face about, experiencing things to the same degree another person does who does not have your money, your resources, your fame. So I think a lot of times stars want to seem approachable in a way that's both dishonest and leads them to kind of sever themselves from the more interesting aspects of celebrity, which for me, I got into criticism and loving film through like classic Hollywood. So I love the messy broads of, I'm talking like Elizabeth Taylor, my queen. I'm talking Betty Davis, Joan Crawford. These were people who were like gods. They were larger than life in a way that's really fascinating and generative, both to their on-screen persona and just how you think about them off-screen. But now celebrities feel like they have to kind of come to people in a gentler, hey, I'm just your friend, and I'm on TikTok, and I'm like, girl, if you move that camera to the left, we'd be seeing a lot of very moneyed items. So like, don't play with me while I'm, struggling for rent or whatever people are dealing with. It's frustrating because I think celebrity should be fun, but it's also kind of complicated by the fact that we're living in a culture, in a world so guided by craven capitalism that it is sort of hard at the same time to even accept the aspirational aspects of celebrity, because it's like, it's not just, wow, you're rich and you're beautiful and you're having all this fun and it's exciting to watch. We're watching that as climate disasters are happening, and like there's going to be climate refugees. There's so many issues happening because of capital. So I think celebrity is like in a very awkward space because of all these factors.
Yeah, I think it's exacerbated with the social media and how we consume celebrity now as well, and war and famine and all these things. Like everything is just so mishmashed together that I think it also exacerbates it. Yeah.
Amy, do you have an answer?
No, I just agree with all of that.
Yeah.
I just agree with all of that. Yeah. I mean, I think it's, as soon as you see somebody on a private plane, I just can't help but be a little mad. I don't want to see you I don't want to watch you make a smoothie in the morning, and I just, even if it makes more sense, I'm just tired of seeing people on private planes. They're so bad for the planet.
I'm tired of seeing
so
people.
bad.
Just like, I don't know. I just think, I think some of the, in terms of like an interesting year for a celebrity, to be honest, I can't think of the ones that have probably had the most interesting year because they've been off socials and they haven't been in my face every minute.
Yeah, that's
which I say, and I'm like posting every day. But I, like, I think it was Michaela Cole after This May Destroy You, which I've loved, when she won an award, I can't remember, but she gave a speech on that, just saying how there was so much pressure to be constantly in everyone's face, constantly relevant, relatable, and that there's power in like disappearing. And I think maybe they're the interesting artists to me, the ones that I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because I've just been working, being artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think the most interesting celebrities are, as you said, the ones who have either disappeared or the ones like Cardi B who are just, like being extra vocal.
Yeah. Or JoJo. JoJo's really captivated me this
JoJo
year.
Siwa.
But maybe I shouldn't have brought that up. Yeah,
I love celebrities who are unafraid to start beef. I'll say it. Like, I am very much enjoying Lana Del Rey's beef with Ethel Cain. My Willoughby truckers in the audience rise up. I think celebrities should be messier.
Yes. Where are the messy bitches? Where are they? I need them. Oh my God. It's so much fun to see celebrities like really talking nasty about each other. There are like interviews I remember Jennifer Lopez doing at the beginning of her career where she was just going off on everybody. And I was like, girl, you don't got the acting talent to be pulling this off, but I do appreciate the nastiness. Or like someone like Mariah Carey, but she yes, exactly, my Aries queen. Mariah Carey is Mariah Carey, so she can back up the talking mess because no one can, I mean, you can't touch her. She's Mariah Carey. But she's fascinating because she will like be reading people. And she's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to say to me? She recently said that someone asked her about aging, and she said, I don't believe in time, so I don't believe in aging.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
She's the best.
I was like, that's what I want. If you're gonna be that rich, might as well be cuckoo bananas and lean into it.
I don't believe in time, therefore I don't believe in aging. I mean, I kind of love, I love a woman in STEM.
I know.
What can I say? Speaking about messy, someone in the audience, again, y'all are asking very anonymous questions. Put your name to these questions, please. Someone in the audience says, would love to hear your thoughts on the Sydney Sweeney of it all. Now, do we actually want to go there?
Oh, God.
And the answer can absolutely be no.
Yeah, and I don't think it's really interesting. I think, oh, wow, white people whiting. Okay, all right. Like I said about Hollywood's return to whiteness, there's been a larger return in obsession with whiteness. You see it in the obsession with thinness and Ozempic. You see it in everybody becoming so blonde, sorry, Beyonce, I'm looking at you, that it's gotten weird. And with Sydney Sweeney, that whole ad was weird for a number of reasons. One, it's this is not a little, but it is white supremacist coded. But also, to kind of nod to the Brooke Shields, ad from when she was a child and super sexualized is, disgusting. So it's just the thing is with Sydney Sweeney is she's not interesting on screen or off. What's interesting is what people project upon her and, her lack of cohesion with being a brand. She obviously is doing so many different things, but I'm I don't know who you are as a star, as an actor. Star, obviously using the term loosely, because in my household, she ain't no star. So it's just I think she's representative of a lot of conversations going around and how people can really project upon a star, but just as an actor on her own who's trying to be a brand and figure things out, there's no there, in my opinion.
Well, I think kind of linked to that, someone else in the audience, again, anonymous, says, how has Trump changed art? Or how will Trump change art?
Yeah, rolling my eyes. Oh God. It's making people be probably didactic in a way that's not interesting. It hasn't been, I think, all that generative for art. But also, I think people's politics are very interesting right now. But I'm very far left, so what do I know? I want America to end as a country, but that's just me.
I think it looks like it's happening. But I think that what you were saying about it's almost like the pendulum is. It's pretty clear with in media that since he's been re-elected, the pendulum seems to be swinging right back into just no one equality, no, all bets are off. Like no one really cares anymore about. And I guess that happens when people are in power that don't care and you know are kind of praised for not being accountable and good people. So it's. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's having a much bigger impact in the States. I almost feel bad talking. But yeah, I mean, I think it's whatever happens in the States always has an impact in Australia because culturally we're obsessed with you. So yeah, that
personally.
Yeah.
I feel like we need a tonic from that conversation.
Yeah.
Amy, I was highly delighted this week to learn that you have a Martha Stewart themed email.
I saw that and I was really excited.
And without obviously revealing your email, I just want to say, I think you told me that you had this Martha Stewart themed email from the very start of your emailing career.
I did, yeah. The week that Gmail existed, I was like, I gotta get on the coolest email ever, which has a Martha Stewart joke in it, and not like Amy Nicholson at gmail.com, which would have been so nice and convenient. But no, yeah, I love her. And talk about a celebrity with a bunch of acts, who I think is maybe one of the only fun Instagram accounts to follow.
God.
Honestly, she's just running around on golf carts with Snoop Dogg, just like.
Have you seen the documentary? I'm sure you have.
I haven't seen it actually. No.
That's something that's been a big thing for me this year.
Is it
Stuart
great?
It's fantastic. It's just, she kind of gets called out by the documentary filmmakers during her interviews. And she just owns it. She's like, oh yeah, I did have an affair. Or I did do this and whatever. Like she's just, it's wild. It's great. Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite stories from one of the mean tell-alls about her from very early on is it kind of implied that she married her first husband, Andy Stewart, I believe, just because she thought Stewart was such a good last name and it would like really be great with her brand.
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. I think Martha would want us to talk about the recipes we've been making and the food that we've been eating. So in the spirit of quite literally consuming culture and cultural consuming, what have we eaten or cooked lately that we've all loved?
Well, a weird New Year's resolution I had was I was going to learn how to bake sugar cookies, but like really intricately designed sugar cookies, you know, with like faces on them and cats and fur, and like learn how to do all of that because I have the worst handwriting in the world and like no muscle control. Like I really just, everything I do is very sloppy. But sugar cookies like require a level of just absolute like horse with blinders on concentration. And so I've gotten like really into sugar cooking, and my one flex is that I won the blue ribbon at the LA County Fair. For
Congratulations.
Thank you. I made their logo, but it was like a little pig in a swimsuit with a suitcase that was selling different things. And it was my chocolate tiramisu recipe, and so
That's great.
yeah, it's a really random skill that I'm like just so glad I learned.
This is making me very, very hungry, but let's keep going. You know, we have 10 minutes left and then we can all eat. Maria?
I've just I finally read Nora Ephron's Heartburn, which has been on my list forever, and she just talks about food and cooking so wonderfully in that. So all of a sudden and maybe it's being winter, I don't know, I've just felt really wholesome and like homey, so I've been trying to cook a lot. And there is I hate to admit it, but an Instagram cook. His name is Julius Roberts. And he's a cutie patootie, but it's not just that. He has really great recipes, and my friend Isabel made dinner for me recently with his tarragon chicken. It's like a one-pot meal, and it is so delicious. So I literally went to the farmer's market this morning, like a wholesome gal, and that's on my list this week. Yeah.
Angelica, you are a regular at your farmer's market. They know you by name.
Yeah. They do. Before I was leaving, I made sure to go to the farmer's market. It's very close to my apartment, like a minute walk, and is open every Wednesday through early November. And I was just getting a few things, and, everyone was like, oh, see you next week, because I stay posted up there. And I was like, actually, I'm going to Australia. And they're like, oh, my God, safe travels. I was like, I'll be back soon. And so it's obviously summer where we're at, and I'm also growing my own tomatoes, which has been a great experience. And so it's been very tomato focused. One thing I like to make, which is pure comfort food, is fried green tomatoes over creamy cheddar grits.
Yum, great film
because I'm a
too.
Southern gal. But then also a tomato carpaccio where I make my own aioli from scratch, or I do a remoulade from scratch. And then have this really good smoked mackerel with it and lots of herbs. I'm just really enjoying the farmer's market this summer.
This is
in
a whole
Chicago.
chef
this is
right here.
yeah.
Well,
you're
my
both-
mother was a chef, so food is very, very important to me. And it's, probably cooking is a very important hobby. I think it's really important as writers, critics, artists, to have hobbies that are completely disconnected from capital. Just stuff you like to do that's really fun. And for me, that's gardening, going to the farmer's market, and cooking a good meal.
Yeah, to get to do something that gets you out of your head and the habit of
Exactly.
writing that's just tactile.
Yes,
Exactly.
and I love doing more physical things, and I think, as a writer, it's very easy to be so in the mind that you forget about the body. But I'm someone who cares a lot about sensuality. I think that's a guiding principle in my life, and food is a part of that.
And I can't believe you're growing your own tomatoes. It's like I will be sheltering with you in the apocalypse in 5 years' time. Of course.
Just 5?
Oh my God. Let's go back to Julius Roberts for a second, because for those who don't know, you called him a cutie patootie. I would call him maybe one of the prime examples of one of the most noxious tropes that has entered my life, which is the hot chef. And everyone's lives over the past 1 to 2 years, you know?
It's a bit of like the Bear effect. Not that I've really watched that much of the Bear.
You're fine. Oh.
What did you say?
I said you're fine.
Okay,
As a
good.
Chicagoan, we have very intense opinions about the Bear.
I'm not. The Bear stresses me out. I'm like I don't like. I see men yelling at each other all the time. Like I don't need to watch it on TV. But yeah, the whole like hot chef guy thing, like tea-towel on the shoulder. It is. It's a bit ick. I agree.
But
I also like it's a bit yum too.
I'll be so honest, I don't think chefs should be hot.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll say it.
real chefs
I'm so brave right now.
Real chefs often aren't hot. They're like tired and like usually have like you know. I don't know, like addiction problems,
I was
or
just
like
about
they
to
don't
say,
sleep much, and they're like usually they don't get daylight, so they're like don't look very healthy, and they often smoke a lot, and I mean smoking can be cool, but like not in a cool way, and yeah, I don't know. I've never met. I feel bad because I have friends that are chefs, but like yeah, they're not like my friends that are chefs. You're all really really hot, but other chefs. And not usually that hot.
You said, they're beautiful people, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, cooking is, like Angelica was saying, it's so sensual, it's so grounding, it's so nice to be, like, it's just such a human thing that it's beautiful. And for someone to nourish you, like, that's hot and nice. So I think maybe we've, like, I don't know, but I feel like there's, like, some guys that maybe, and I'm just, like, generalizing, I'm, like, making this all about men. There's women that cook are hot as they're hotter, but I feel like I feel like there's probably men out there that aren't necessarily great cooks, but they're like, I'm gonna be a hot guy that cooks, so they put the tea towel on their shoulder and they like get a Le Creuset and they, I don't know, I feel like it's like a gateway into something that is a bit dangerous.
There definitely has been, I've seen online as well, this kind of like rising wave of what I would almost describe as like fetish cooking content.
Yeah,
where
I
it
know
very much
exactly what you're
That
talking
guy
about.
that slaps the lamb.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Why are they being sexual with food? It's so weird. And then
It's
you read the
not.
comments, and women are like, "Ooh, I want you to do that to me," and I'm like, "That is a tart. Leave the. Don't do that to us. What is happening? It is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very disturbing to me. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't like food. Maybe I don't like men. It's making me question everything I like because I'm like, this is like actively kind of gross to me. It's so weird.
Well, it's performative.
It is
and
performative.
stuff isn't hot in that way.
Yeah, it's performative also in the sense that you can tell they're like, I'm doing what I think women like, and I'm gonna like have this like very intense women, audience where I'm like, I don't know, like fingering some cake batter one moment, licking, there is one.
I know the one. Yeah,
you know exactly who I'm talking about. He'll come up like sometimes because I had someone I used to follow who would comment on all of this man's posts. And I was like, girl, you need to get out the house. You need to talk to a man in life. You need to simmer down. Like, what is happening? Disturbing, dark-sided, demonic, actually.
Was she aware that people could see her comments? Well, clearly not.
I mean, no, I think she knew, and she was just cool with it. And I was like, girl, this is beyond thirst. I don't know what this is, but you need therapy. This is disturbing.
Julius Roberts has good recipes, though. They're, like, legitimate.
I agree. I'm
Like,
constantly cooking the recipes and
great.
watching the videos on repeat, of course. I guess to conclude, I want to ask everyone to share perhaps their hottest culture take. Sorry to use that word, from the past 12 months. I mean, I just told you mine, anti-hot chef, but now it's over to you.
Hottest, that's so hard. All my takes are pretty hot.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's really hard.
It is really hard. I want to say something that's like really pisses people off too. So give me a second. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. God damn. Do y'all have anything?
I'm completely blank. My brain is like, beep.
I'll tell you another one that I had actually
Okay.
recently. I feel like I'm bursting at the seams with desire to tell you all my hot takes. This is only controversial because we're currently at a film festival, but I've gotten really into sleeping in the cinema.
Michael!
And I really never thought I would be this person because, I grew up with a dad whose primary hobby was falling asleep in the cinema. We'd be watching, Brother Bear, shout out Brother Bear, and literally, the entire movie I would just hear a full, honk shoe, me kind of situation. But I feel like as someone with, intense sleeping problems, the deepest sleep that I get is in the cinema. And I can tell you exactly what movie it started. It was Memoria.
Oh my God, I fell asleep in that, and my friend made fun of me because I was I kept falling asleep and then being like, oh, what's happening? Falling back asleep. This was at the Gene Siskel Film Center in Chicago. And at first I was like, no one noticed. I was falling asleep. And then my friend was like, yo, you really be snoring, huh? And I was like, oh, have I watched the movie since then? No, but spiritually, I really felt it in my sleep. So
Absolutely.
that counts.
Also, that is a movie about sleep. It's basically what Whereas Ethical intended.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing what the art was asking of us.
Absolutely.
And
It's
if
Cinema 4D.
If you're buying a ticket, you're still supporting, the industry.
Oh,
so
I'm the
it's
patron
fine.
of the
Yeah,
arts.
there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Angelica, I want to hear your hot take.
My hot take is, okay, this is my hot take. Because I mentioned her earlier. One day we will have a conversation about the fact that Jay-Z low-key groomed Beyonce and got with her when she was way too young. Yeah, not a nice hot take, but it's her allegiance to him just makes me sad. I've told a few people recently, my theory about her, which is she's obviously an incredibly gorgeous, beautiful, obviously talented, top-tier woman, but she doesn't really have sex appeal. And that was always interesting to me, this lack of friction and sexiness, even if she looks sexy. And I ended up thinking, oh, I think it's because she got with Jay-Z when she was in her late teens, and her entire sense of her sexuality, her entire understanding of her body has been through that relationship. And I think it's really important, not just as a woman, but as a human being, to get to have fun in that department and kind of feel things out and not get married or locked down with someone super quickly. Maybe this is just me arguing that, if you're into sex, you should have a slut phase at some point in your life. And she hasn't had that, and that makes me sad.
I just got so excited thinking about her potential slut phase.
I know, Beyonce, hit me up. I can help you out. I can be your wing woman. It'd be great.
That is a fantastic place for us to end. Angelica, Amy, Maria, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure. And thank you too for coming along.